Last year, you put $500 on your credit card. Maybe it was groceries, maybe a car repair, maybe you just needed to survive that week. You've been making payments every single month since then. You haven't missed one. You haven't added any new charges, and your balance is still $420. 12 months of payments, $80 of progress. That's not bad luck. That's not your fault. That is the system working exactly the way it was built to work. And by the time you finally pay it off, that $500 will cost you more than $1,200. Every month, your credit card statement tells you the minimum payment due. It looks small, maybe $25, maybe $15. It feels manageable. And that's exactly the point. The credit card company doesn't want you to pay your balance off quickly. They want you to pay slowly, because every month you carry a balance, they charge you interest. And that interest isn't a flat fee. It compounds. That means you're being charged interest on top of interest you already owe. According to Bankrate, the average credit card interest rate in America right now is 24.7%. Some cards are way higher, 27%, 29%, even 32%. So when you charge $500 and only pay the minimum, most of that payment doesn't go toward your $500. It goes to interest. You're paying the credit card company first. Whatever pennies are left over, that's what goes toward your actual balance. That's why 12 months of payments barely made a dent. You weren't really paying down your debt. You were renting it. Here's what's actually happening inside your credit card every single month. Your card has an annual rate. Let's say it's 27%. That sounds like one number. But the credit card company doesn't charge you 27% once a year. They divide that number by 365. That gives them a daily rate. At 27%, your daily rate is about 0.74%. Doesn't sound like much, right? But that rate gets applied to your balance every single day. So on day one, you owe $500. The interest charged that day is about 37 cents. By itself, that's nothing. But on day two, you owe $500.37. And the interest is calculated on that new amount. Day three, it's calculated on an even higher number. This is compounding. Every day, the balance you owe grows a tiny bit, and the next day's interest is charged on that slightly bigger balance. Over a week, it's barely noticeable. Over a month, it starts to add up. Over a year, it changes everything. After 1 month of carrying that $500 balance, you owe about $11.25 in interest alone. Your minimum payment might be $25, so only $13.75 actually reduces what you owe. Next month, your balance is $486.25. Interest gets charged on that. Your minimum payment drops to maybe $24, and even less goes to principal. Every single month, the amount going toward your real debt gets smaller. The balance barely moves. You keep paying. The credit card company keeps collecting. This is not a glitch. This is the product. The minimum payment is designed to maximize how long you stay in debt. Let's walk through this start to finish. No skipping ahead. You put $500 on a credit card with a 27% APR. You decide to only pay the minimum each month. Most credit card companies set the minimum at 2% of your balance or $25, whichever is greater. Month 1, your balance is $500, minimum payment is $25, but $11.25 of that goes to interest. Only $13.75 hit your actual debt. Your new balance is $486.25. Month 3, your balance is around $459. Your minimum payment is still $25, but now $10.35 goes to interest. Only $14.65 hits the debt. Month 6, balance is about $417. You've paid $150 total so far, but your balance only dropped by $83. That means $67 of what you paid went straight to the credit card company. Month 12, you've paid $276. Your balance is $348. You've given the credit card company over $124 in pure interest in 1 year on $500. Month 24, 2 full years of payments. You've paid around $516 total, more than the original balance, and you still owe $227. You've already paid more than you borrowed, and you're not even close to done. Month 36, 3 years in. Total payments hit $692. Balance is still $131. Month 48, 4 years. Total paid is around $825. Balance is $72. Month 60, 5 years of your life, 60 payments. Total paid $1,078, and you still owe $33. By the time you finally hit zero, 63 months later, you've paid a total of $1,207 on a $500 balance. That is $707 in interest alone. You paid for that $500 almost 2.5 times over. And here's the line that should keep you up at night. The credit card company made more money from your debt than you ever spent in the first place. This system wasn't built by accident. Credit card companies study behavior. They know exactly what happens when you see a minimum payment on your statement. A study from the UK's Financial Conduct Authority found that when people see a minimum payment amount, they anchor to it. Even people who can afford to pay more pay less because the minimum becomes the reference point. Your brain sees $25 and thinks, that's enough. That's what they asked for, so you pay it and move on. The credit card company counted on exactly that. They also know most people won't do the math we just did. Nobody sits down with a calculator and runs 63 months of compound interest. You just see $25 a month and think it's handled. Meanwhile, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau reports that credit card companies collected over $1,050,000,000,000 in interest and fees in 2022 alone. That's $105 billion from people just like you, people making their minimum payments on time, people who think they're doing the right thing. And here's what really locks you in. As your balance slowly drops, so does your minimum payment. It goes from $25 to $22 to $18 to $15. Each month, you pay less. Each month, less of that payment goes toward the debt. The payoff timeline stretches further and further. The credit card company doesn't need you to miss a payment. They need you to make the minimum. That's the entire business model. Now, somebody watching this is thinking, I can't afford to pay more than the minimum. That's why it exists. And honestly, that's fair. Some months, the minimum is all you have. Nobody's judging that. But here's what changes the game. Even $25 extra per month completely rewrites the math. Same $500 balance, same 27% APR. But instead of paying just the minimum, you pay the minimum plus $25 extra. Step 1. Commit to a fixed payment of $50 a month, not the shrinking minimum, a flat $50. At $50 a month, that $500 balance is paid off in about 11 months. Total paid, around $553. That's $53 in interest instead of $707. You just saved $654 by adding $25 to your payment. Step 2. Once that card is paid off, take that $50 a month and aim it at your next smallest debt. This is called the Snowball method. Each debt you kill frees up more money for the next one. Step 3. Call your credit card company and ask for a lower rate. According to a Lending Tree survey, 76% of people who asked for a lower interest rate got one. Most people never ask. The rate drops from 27% to maybe 20%, maybe 17%. That alone can save you months of payments. You don't need to be rich to beat this. You don't need a finance degree. You need $25 extra and a decision to stop paying the minimum. 2 people, same city, same income, same $500 credit card balance at 27% APR. Both charge $500 at the exact same time. Person A does what most people do, pays the minimum every month, never misses a payment, feels responsible. After 1 year, person A has paid $276. Balance is still $348. After 3 years, person A has paid $692, still owes $131. After 5 years and 3 months, person A finally pays it off. Total costs $1,207. That $500 emergency costs person A an extra $707 over 5 years. Person B makes one different choice, pays $50 a month instead of the minimum. That is $25 extra. After 11 months, person B's balance hits zero. Total cost, $553. Person B is free in under a year. But person B doesn't stop there. They take that $50 a month and put it into a basic savings account over the next 4 years while person A is still paying interest. Person B saves $2,400. 5 years later, person A spent $1,207 and has $0. Person B spent $553 and has $2,400 in savings. The gap between them, $3,054. Same income, same starting debt, same city. The only difference is what person B learned about minimum payments. Nobody taught you this in school. Nobody explained what 27% APR actually means when you signed up for that card. Nobody showed you how the minimum payment was designed to keep you paying for 5 years on a $500 balance. That's not your fault. But now you know the math, now you see the system, and you don't pay the minimum anymore because you know exactly where that money goes. You're not someone who carries debt without understanding it. Not anymore. You're someone who knows, and knowing changes everything.